All right, so it's been a little while since I have started to make a few pretty drastic changes in my life. And if I could sum all of them down just to one simple thing, it would be basically this. I wanted to know what my life would be like if I stopped chasing counterfeit forms of reality. And by that, what I mean is rather than watch people do something, or rather than read about it, or rather than actually be present in the moment, feel my experiences, my emotions, I was running away from them in a lot of different forms, a lot of different methods. So I decided to try and figure out what I could do, what I could cut out that wasn't real, that wasn't actual, wasn't normal, and try and replace it with just a real life experience. And the very first thing that was immediately obvious to me is I was about to take a picture of my kids doing an activity, and I had my phone out and I was about ready to snap that photo, and I found myself thinking, okay, are they framed right, and how's the lighting, and if I'm going to get the most amount of likes, I need to watch the angles and figure out, are they smiling, is their hair cute, and I sat there and I just realized I am missing the wonder and the joy that is being a dad, being a parent, and watching my gorgeous little children, because I'm so worried about, are people going to like it? Are they going to recognize? Are they going to critique or criticize? Are they going to? And I thought, wait a minute, something has got to change. I can't do this. This is not going to work out. So I started doing some reading, looking around, trying to see, what other people doing, what's working, what's not. Am I the only one experiencing this problem? Turns out I'm not. And I decided I was just going to go straight at it. The first thing I did was I deleted the social media apps that I was using. And for me, there wasn't a lot of them. I'm not into every single one of them, but the Facebooks, the Instagrams, the Twitters, I went ahead and just shut them off. And it wasn't, I don't know how long or forever, or, I didn't know what exactly to expect from that, but I just went ahead and deleted them off of my phone. The experience was almost instant, because I started to feel like something was missing, like something wasn't the same. I'd been spending most of my time with this thing, and whenever I was bored, I was like, oh, boom, 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 boom. And whenever something happened I didn't like, right? So there's an argument with somebody, or somebody's not doing what I want them to do, I'm like, oh, I'll just whip this out and I'll run away. I'll disappear. I'm on Facebook, I'm scrolling on my Instagram, just mindlessly scrolling, something different to think about, something to run away from or run away to. I didn't have that anymore. I had just shut it off. And it was weird. I was sitting there left with just myself. The thing I found out was that I just started falling on new things. And so it was kick the TV on, jump into Netflix and binge a show, go climb into YouTube. And well, I'm learning about things, I'm studying things, I'm educating myself. But it was hours of just rather being there than in the real world, in my real life. So it's been a process. It's been a journey of me really looking at some of these things. And what I wanted to point out is that none of these things are evil. None of them are wrong, or they're not good and they're not bad. But I was using this tool for the wrong purposes. I was using it to run away. So basically, dopamine, it's a reward for doing hard things. Anytime you pursue something, you want something and acquire it, you aim for a goal, it's a reward that once you get there, boom, you get that hit that we all know and we all love, right? You win a game and bam, you are right on top. You work hard on a project and you see it come to fruition at the end, and it's complete, and oh, what a reward, what a payoff that is. But in our world, and especially in the phones and the social media and all that stuff, there's a lot of counterfeit result, because you didn't do any work. You didn't really achieve any accomplishment. All you did was get on there and something new popped up and it got exciting. You're like, oh, new, bing. And then it got old, oftentimes in a matter of seconds. And then you scroll again and bing, something new. And there it is. And then it gets old. So you scroll and it gets new and old and new and old. And this back and forth and back and forth, you build up a tolerance, a resistance to the payoff for reward. And what used to be, a simple, basic method of I get to this goal and then I get the payoff. Now that goal has to be a little bit higher in order for you to get that kind of a payoff. So rather than just scrolling to one new thing and you're like, oh, that's interesting. Now you're going through 2, 3, 4 things because I've seen that, I've done that, I'm bored, and you gotta work harder to find that new thing. And so you're on there longer and longer, and you're looking for different things that excite you, and it's just never ending. It's counterfeit. It's not even real. You haven't moved your body. You haven't exercised your mind. You haven't done any work, really, short of this. And then you get this hit, and the requirements get taller and taller and taller. So then you take the you that's been doing this for hours, and you go to do a normal task, the dishes, and you don't have the drive. You don't have the will to even make that happen. You say, I don't feel like it. It's time to go exercise. Oh, I don't feel like it. I don't feel the drive anymore. I don't feel the motivation. And so what do? We look for a diagnosis, and, you get on some sort of medication that's going to help you get that drive back, because I just lost my ability to focus and I lost my ability to accomplish tasks. Well, maybe you did, but maybe what happened was that level at which you feel drive and you get a reward and a payoff for effort is way out of whack. You've been using a counterfeit method to achieve those things, and you need to get some sort of a reset. You need to bring that back to a baseline where life in reality in its normal state can take place, so that you can do the dishes and you can feel the drive to do it. And even though it's something basic and small, boom, like, I feel good. I got something done. And you do your laundry, you get it all washed, folded, put it away, and there's that small little hit of dopamine. Good job on doing hard things. That's what I've been working on. That's what I've been trying to really watch and pay attention to. And my life has changed. My life is different. It's not perfect. I'm not claiming that in any way, but the things that were dim aren't so dim anymore. They're brightening up. My life is to the point now where I'm seeing the beauty and the wonder that exists all around me. And not only am I noticing it, but I have a want and a drive to be a part of it. And not to be a part of it so that I can document it, and so that I can, which is ironic considering what I'm doing here, right? My intent here is to help as many people as I possibly can, because I know what I've been through. The fog. That's literally what it felt like. It felt like I was in this fog where I'm stuck, and I'm trying to climb out, and the only way I knew how to climb out was to climb back out there and just get this counterfeit hit of dopamine, and I'd feel good for a little bit, and then boom, comes back down. And man, coming out of it has been something worth having. I got a couple of things I wanted to point out specifically that have changed in my life. Number one is that I now own my time. During the days when I was going through these cycles and just chasing the feel-good feeling of dopamine for doing nothing, honestly, my time was just wasted, just wasted. I'm on all kinds of apps. I'm on all kinds of shows. I'm just sitting there on my butt doing nothing. And now here I am, and I'm literally like, this is a result. This channel is a direct result of me making this change, of me trying to find the real connection to a reward for hard work. I wouldn't have been doing this for darn sure if I was still sitting on my phone all day, just running away from my life and trying to get a counterfeit reward for a job not done, So I put this thing down, and all of a sudden here I am trying to help other people the best that I can, I've started reading like actual hardcover books. It's kind of become a little obsession of mine, where I want to know what other people have experienced in life, and not just in my time period. A lot of these books are written by guys and women that have lived long before me, 100 years, 200 years, some of them 2,000 years before me. And I want to know what their life's wisdom is. It's changing me. And I don't have a whole lot of time. I'm still working my way through all those things, because they're thick, they're dense, they're rich. And I'll get stuck on a paragraph, and my mind is like, wow, I had no idea that the world could look like that. Yeah, I read now, and my view of reality is shifting in a phenomenal way. I think one of the biggest reasons that I was going after a counterfeit version of dopamine is because I was experiencing some sort of tension or turmoil, usually inside, some feeling, some frustration, something. I just didn't want to be with it, you know? I didn't want to be with it. There's a deadline, a frustrated kid, something's falling apart that I got to go fix. I just wanted to run away from it, not experience it, which that is the definition of being alive, to feel your feelings, to experience difficulty and to move through it. And I was just running away from it. I was missing one of the most valuable things that there is to have out there, and that is struggle. It's the best, worst thing that I could ever have. And I was putting my head in the sand, and now I can see that I want to do hard things. I don't want to be crushed or killed or anything like that. And we're not talking about being crazy. I want to feel the wind on my face, and I want to feel my heart pounding from the excitement or from me pushing and challenging my body. I want to feel my body get stronger. I want to experience life and not run from it. And that is one of the biggest things that has changed. I'm not doing anything now for anyone else. I'm doing it for me in a way that I know is benefiting me. And then after it's benefited me and I'm in a good place, now I'm able to take that and hopefully share it with other people where it can also benefit them. One of the things that's really changed that I didn't really expect and I didn't see coming was that voice inside my head that I think everybody has, the one that's constantly rambling. And it's critical of yourself and it's critical of everyone else around you. It's the voice that keeps you up at night, and it's thinking about all the things that need to be done, all the things that didn't get done, what they said, what she said, what so-and-so is doing. That voice that never shuts up has started to quiet down. And that is something I had no idea was going to show up or was going to have such a huge impact on me. Now I'm not so involved in, well, I wonder what they're doing. And I noticed that on social media, they posted this about their kids, or he's doing that with his job, or I wonder, how did they afford that thing, or all of that garbage it's quieting down. I'm not looking at all of the chaos in the world. And that's not to say I ignore it, but there's only so many things that I actually have control over. And a lot of that material that I was looking at on social media was stuff that I did not have control over, at least not directly. And yet I would sit there and my mind would just go and go and go all night about, solving the world's problems and the global warming and the wars and the food crisis and inflation. And I mean, you name it, there's only so much that I can actually do. And I now am to a point where, I do what I can. And then I let it go. I'm not in it constantly. It's not coming at me all the time. Because the noise inside has started to subside, the peaks on the waves crashing have come down quite a bit. I have been able to come to know myself a little bit better and figure out, who it is I actually am, what it is that I want, what I enjoy. That has been a trip. I'm 38 years old. And I thought, at this point in my life, I know exactly who I am and what I want and what's going on. But with the volume cranked down and the noise not so loud, I am seeing that I am a new person. I don't know exactly who I am at this point, but the adventure is just starting. Having shut all these apps off for this long, occasionally I'll see somebody and they'll say, hey, I don't know what's going on with you because you just stopped posting on social media. I haven't seen or heard from you in a while. And I'm like, my phone still works. My door is still open. You're welcome to come see. And it's wild because now I'm starting to have real relationships with people. There's keeping tabs on others. There's, checking in and tracking them. And then there's actually being involved in their lives. And what this has meant is that there's significantly fewer people that I know what's going on in their life, but the ones that I am engaged with, I am actually a part of. I sit and I really listen. I get to hear about the ups and the downs, the struggles that they've had and the joys, and my relationships with my family have improved. Again, nothing perfect, but the number of times that I call and I talk, the events that I now attend, I haven't seen them in a while and I'm not sure what's going on in their life. So yeah, let's go spend the weekend. Let's let's definitely go do dinner. Let's take a chance to go on a trip with them or to plan a party, please, because I don't know what's going on and I want to hear about them. I think one of the greatest gifts that's come from this is that my level of fear, others call it anxiety, whatever you want to call it, that has also come down significantly. I now am leaning forward into my life. I'm not sitting flat footed. I'm not leaning back. I'm leaning forward, and there's this momentum. I'm now falling into things in a good way. I have hope for what could be. I get excited about things now. I have a drive to go push and to go try, and I'm not so stuck on how it's going to fail or it won't work or I don't have the motivation. I am moving into them. And that's not to say it's not still scary, because let's be honest, talking to this camera like this, not having a clue who's out there, just crossing my fingers, it's scary, but I have hope. I'm moving forward and it's exciting. And that's something that I didn't have before, because rather than feel those feelings and figure out what to do with them and how to move through them, I was just hiding and running away and disappearing and ignoring and just, scroll, click, all that stuff. Now, all of this isn't to say that I totally ignore social media. It's not good, it's not bad. And that goes with television and all the other things that you can distract yourself with. They're not evil inherently, but my relationship with them is changing. And so now when I sit down to watch a movie, I am completely in that movie. Or when I sit down to watch a show and there's a commercial or there's some sort of break or there's a lull or the main character goes through a stressful situation, I'm not racing to my phone. My phone is down and I am completely engrossed in whatever it is that I am doing. And that shifts over to the people that I'm with, and it shifts over to every moment. I have become more present. That's where the everything that's worth having is just in being present and not running away and not chasing a counterfeit dopamine hit, a reward for doing nothing, but in actually getting the reward for just being in the experience, being a human, a normal, regular guy that feels the sun on my face and feels the cold wind hitting my cheeks. That now has an impact on me. I'm not running away from that. I'm experiencing it. And being alive, it's the greatest reward right now. That is the reason that I'm not interested in going back to the way things were. I am enjoying being a human being on the planet Earth. And I know that sounds hippie and crazy, but I really am. So I'm going to choose to keep doing this, to keep being a part of the human experience and seeing what it's like to be a dad and experience being a husband and being a neighbor and being a brother and a son. I want to experience every part of that. And that's not going to happen when I've got this sitting in between me and that. I would love to hear what it is that you've got going on in your life. Have you already tried some of these things? Have you had some of these same experiences? Put it down in the comments. I would love to grow a community, to find like-minded people that want to move forward and share in each other's experiences. And so feel free to throw a like and a subscribe on there if that's something you're up for. And we'll see you in the next one.